Now, regarding Kenya's messed up education system, allow me to respond to President William Ruto directly, because truth is like a lion. How does the lion defend itself? Let it out of its cage and the lion will defend itself. So let's let the truth out. President William Ruto wants us to believe that he is fixing a problem that was caused by those other people, by others, wale wengine. And by that, I think he means Dr. Fred Matiang'i and also President Uhuru Kenyatta, the previous government. Now, question. Who was Uhuru Kenyatta's deputy president, the second in command? William Ruto, the same guy who is saying those guys. He was Uhuru's deputy. And together they appointed Fred Matiang'i, who introduced CBC, now CBE, which is messing our children up. Now, Ruto wants to look like the savior, like the messiah, the one who's rescuing the system. My friend, no, you are tukubali, you can't fool us. It's not about the opposition, it's not about who, it's about you who messed up Kenya's education system. Secondly, Ruto wants us to believe that he has fixed the capitation problem. You know, tulituma pesa kwa shule and so on and so forth. Let me tell you, the biggest capitation problem in Kenya is Ruto saying he has hired over 100,000 teachers, when we know the Daily Nation, as of November last year, reported that we have 32,000 ghost teachers in this country and over 87,000 ghost students under Ruto's administration. So 32,000, even if you just took that number, these are people who are sucking our system of its resources. But even if you talked about capitation, you know, the World Bank released 180.6 million euros last December to this government to help with scholarships for the children, with textbooks, and as also the issue of building classrooms. Now, Migos Ogamba, who I believe is one of the most clueless ministers of education, wants us to believe that the textbooks are still coming, that this problem is just a teething issue, it will just happen. You know, Ruto tell us, first of all, why did you borrow? Because there is 702 billion allocated to education already in this year's budget. Now, tell me, why do we have to borrow? But also, if you are going to fix the education system, why do you have people who have no clue about education running your education ministry? Migos Ogamba, I just learned the other day that he's a lawyer. Actually, I think he's one of the most clueless ministers with regard to education. Instead of hiring experts in education who know how to deal with this problem, instead of listening to people who have, you know, given us info about the need to stop. Remember someone like Amina Mohammed as Minister for Education. And she said there was something wrong with CBC, that we need to stop it. Late aside, don't implement. Let's look at it afresh. What did Ruto and Uhuru do? They threw Amina Mohammed out of the education docket. So here we need to be honest. The issue is not about the money. The issue is not about what Ruto has done or not done. Let's have a real conversation about CBE and education in general. The problem is corruption. Why are we spending 702 billion on education when we could actually use 300 billion and have education free from primary to undergraduate? Primary, secondary, undergraduate, free. Why are we spending 702 billion and education is not free? Parents are still paying. Teachers don't have any idea where they're going. Corruption is everywhere. It's all the way into what you call CDF. I mean, MPs are dishing out money, put all this money into one basket so that we provide free education for our children. And before you lecture people, President Ruto, on being the Messiah, can you tell us why your MPs are the ones dishing out appointment letters? That is corruption. Fix your house. Deal with corruption. It is why we are asking you to rethink your soul, to rethink the people. Once you fix corruption, we will actually have a conversation. The problem is not those others. The problem is not capitation. The problem is we have a bad system. Bring back 844 and stop punishing our children. Over 800,000 have not even reported. The parents are asking questions. The teachers are not ready. They're asking questions. The pupils, the students are not ready. I mean, some of them don't even know whether they are in primary school or high school. Let's have a national dialogue on CBE. Tuzungumzie haya, ita experts, ita parents, ita teachers, ita mpaka university students, call even high school students. Let's have a national conversation on our education system. And we don't have to borrow from other people. We don't need a foreign education system. Let's have our own homegrown, expert-driven solution to the system of education that takes care of our own identity and is national enough, sovereign enough to give us a future instead of producing hirelings to work for others out there as slaves. We want to tell President Ruto and his government, it's not enough is enough from them. It is enough from us. We can't take what is going on in Kenya anymore. First of all, because he's become a trickster. We wanted a small government of about 14 or 15 cabinet secretaries of professionals. He's included rogue ministers with criminal records in government. We don't want that. We want an end to that. We want a fresh start. Number two, the economy is not working at all. At all. The economy of Kenya is on its... People are being sacked left, right, and center. Look at all the businesses moving to the neighboring countries. The economy is not working. We expected that because of COVID, we would have, the government concentrate on businesses that closed and revamp them, bring them back to circulation. Instead, it's trading with our lives. Trading with our lives. We cannot take that. Enough is enough. Again, all the abductions, all the killings, the injuries, the wanton murder and dumping of Kenyan bodies in quarries, in rivers, all over the place, tells you we're not just back to the Moi era of, useless administration and bad governance, but also killings. A lot of bloodshed in this country. From last year, this government keeps killing our young people. This government does not have respect for human life. They are murderers. So we must say enough is enough. Enough imetosha. No more killing. We have to stop them from killing us. But I also want you to know that once the government goes to bed with the opposition, that's it. In fact, that's the best way to eliminate all of them. Look at this. We are at a point where instead of fixing this country, they are congregating together to loot some more, to loot us, to destroy us. And we are at the point where nothing is working. Our children are not going to school. How long are we going to endure this rogue government? God bless Kenya, and God bless all of you.